Go on then. You're off.
Right, this is the sixth in a series of soul food, and we're looking at soul music and soul songs. So, with that in mind, we've got Leslie and Judith here, both who are musicians in their own right, and so we're going to talk to them about music and what it means to them in the context of the soul. I've been playing music, I've been an organist for 40 odd years, so I've been doing some of it as well. So that's where we come in. So we were talking about the soul food. I was thinking this morning, I was driving along in my car and the Classic FM were playing Schindler's List, John Williams' original version. And I don't know what it is about that piece of music, but every time I hear it, I just sort of melt. And I don't know why it is we have to hear it so much. We hear it, but does it make any difference? It's one of those pieces which you'd think that people would say we should have learned, shouldn't we, from our mistakes, but we don't. But for me, that was a bit of soul music. What do you think? Do you think that's a...
Do you think that was because of the film, or is it because of the music itself?
I haven't watched all the film all the way through, but I know that what it's for, and I know basically what it represents. So it's just one of those things which gets to me every time I hear it.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a Christian piece of music, is it? It's,
Well, I have a similar experience with Hubert Parry's "I Was Glad," which is from Psalm 122, and it's the words. So I was glad when they said unto me, "Go into the house of the Lord." And this is an anthem that's been sung for coronations for years and years and years, hundreds of years. But Parry is the latest one that we're familiar with. But it's when the music changes and it gets to the part where it says, "Oh, pray for the peace of Jerusalem." And I just can't sing it. I can't sing it because
beautiful, isn't
it just gets to me. Yeah.
There's something, isn't there, about, I think we've very quickly gone into something about the power of music to do something beyond words, logic, reason, to speak to the soul, which is the key word in all of this, isn't it? But it's something that it just has the ability to be able to dive right into the soul and do something to us.
Yes.
And why a particular piece of music will do that to us and for us can be based on the film that it relates to, or it can be based on where we first heard it, or where we most movingly heard it, or something like that. And I think it's just that extraordinary power to dig right into our heart. I remember being at Cliff College last May for Cliff Fest, and we were in worship, and they sung a song, and halfway through the song I was standing there in tears. Because, and I can't quite say why, but it had just got a hold of me, and it was doing something within me. And that's the power of music, I think, isn't it?
There was a student at Cliff in my year who went on to work as a pastoral assistant to Marilyn Baker, and they had a tune which used to sing to a song called "Special Delivery." It's not the one which is in one of the books, it's something that a tune that they've written to, and every time I heard that, I used to go, "Well, this is very powerful, isn't it?" So it's it often depends where you're at the time, isn't it? What gets to you?
Or the music itself. In Fauré's Requiem, the Agnus Dei, just that melts me every time I hear it.
Incredible, isn't it? It's incredible.
Yeah. So we've hinted on the sort of variety of music already that there is. Is there anything particularly that stands out to you that is a sort of a favourite piece that does that for you?
It feels like the answer to that should be yes, and yet in a sense is not, because I just have a whole quite eclectic range of different things, from things like Verdi's Requiem, which I sang in at one point in my childhood and was tremendous and just always stirs me. Schindler's List is a great example, I think. And then some modern worship songs, some glorious hymns, they all have the ability to touch me. You know, I find it hard personally to relate to heavy metal stuff, but I'm really interested that there's a fresh expression of Methodist Church which is around heavy metal Methodists, because for some people it does the job with them. So I'm quite eclectic, but I'm not that eclectic. You see what I mean? So which is interesting.
I went on a course at Sarum College to do with creative things, and one of the subjects was heavy metal.
Right.
So we had somebody talking about that. And one of the reasons that became so popular was because people had nowhere to express themselves, or no way to express themselves, even they felt very angry about all sorts of things. So these heavy metalists, they sort of produced what sounded like very angry sounding songs. And they were saying that, because if you read some of the words of what they're writing, it's some sort of protest or something which is angry about. I'm not saying it's entirely this, but this is what we were shown, and it was interesting. I don't think we have many pieces we can think of where Christians are angry. Maybe there should be sometime.
But it's like Hans Christian Andersen said, where words fail, music speaks.
Yeah. So Judith, as you go around playing lots of music and all around the circuit, is there one particular thing which you feel stands out as something you
Well,
feel?
just the way that the congregations that I play for just love to sing. And small congregations, you know, you maybe have 50 people, but they really sing their hearts out.
Because that's one of the things about Methodists, that the old MHB used to say Methodists are born in song, isn't it? And
Yeah.
do you think they're still born in song?
Yeah, after COVID, we did a survey, the circuit did a survey, and one of the things that came on top of the list was, what did you miss most? The hymns.
Yeah. And the coffee afterwards. Yes, you're right. I do think we need to be careful that we don't make that a sacred cow, you know, Methodism born in song.
Yeah.
Because I have to hear that there are some people who might be listening to this who don't find music has that impact. And I struggle with that because, well, we're sat here as three music lovers, aren't we?
Yeah.
But I do know some people who don't seem to, it doesn't seem to register or stir the soul in the same way.
And
so we just need to be careful with it, I think, sometimes, don't we? That we don't overemphasise that.
We have, in our Focus magazine, we have a feature called Desert Island Discs.
Okay.
And there are some people who say, you know, I haven't got a musical bone in my body, but and yet they've done the Desert Island Discs, and it's taken choosing 8 pieces of music that's through their life. They tell their life story, their life journey through that music, even though music doesn't touch them.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, it
Yeah.
still tells a story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Yeah.
As it's the start of Lent, this will be going out on sort of Palm Sunday, so that's when we're intending to release. Is there anything particular around that time of the year that you think is particularly special?
Do you mean with regard to music?
Music.
Oh, goodness me.
That's a hard one.
Yes. Again, rather eclectically, but there's a for me personally, there's a lovely Maggie Dawn song, simply taking the words of Isaiah 53, "He was pierced for our transgressions," and that really stirs me all the time. I think I sang it first at Spring Harvest, so there's a bit of story for me. It's Desert Island this time, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you know, that resonates back for me. So that's a more modern song, and then some of the great hymns of when I survey and I saw the great Easter day.
And the Messiah.
Yes,
and
well,
the Messiah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yes, I was thinking along the lines that the Psalm 51, "Have mercy on me." There's SS Wesley thing, "Wash me truly," and every time I hear it, I feel like I'm having some layer taken off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Until it says, "And forgive all my sin," right at the end, and you feel it's a bit like going to the car wash.
layer after
the layer
layer.
after layer, and you feel differently after you've heard it. And for
Yeah.
me,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
just one example for me.
Yeah, that's
Then there's another one I return to. I was in the original Praise Makers in Truro with Peter Bolt.
good. Yeah.
We used to sing this song which was called "It Only Takes a Spark to Get the Fire Going." And when I start singing that and it goes, pass it on.